Video, what I'm going to be doing is going through every single ski event. This doesn't mean I'm going to be able to pass every one of them, but I'm going to show you what you need to do in order to pass them, and you can watch and see what each event looks like. So the first event we're going to start out with is the amateur events. Obviously, if you need to, you can do the ski school, but we're going to start out with the amateur downhill event. This one isn't that bad, especially since it's amateur. You don't have to do too well on it to actually pass. And actually, you can miss 3 of these flags and still pass, I'm pretty sure. But I don't want to risk that. I just want to pass this and get it over with. The hard part about this is that you don't really know where these turns are going to be. Like, you don't know which direction they're going to turn in. But for amateur, you don't really have to worry too much about it, because even if you miss one, you're not going to lose. You're probably still going to get first place. So 29 seconds will put me in first place, and we can move on to the next event. So we're going to move on right to the next event, and the next event is the amateur solo. I don't know how to say that word, but basically it's the same thing. It's just going to be a little bit tighter turns, and this makes it a little bit more difficult, but because again it's amateur, you don't have to worry too much about being in between these flags. It's more in the pro version of this that you actually have to worry about it. See, I missed one, and it's not going to affect me too much. I just have to try and keep myself within these lines. And the good thing about this is you can kind of tell more where it's going to turn. And still 29 seconds, which means I'm probably still going to get first. Now this next event is going to be one where you have to do jumps. It's the terrain park, so this is going to be smaller jumps, and basically you just have to make sure that you're within these lines, and you can just do turns, and it doesn't really matter how sloppy or perfect you are them, but as long as you're doing something. I think you have to get like 1,000 points or something in order to win, and yeah, I have definitely won by now. My favorite thing to do is just do multiple backflips, because that gets you in the 2000s, and I'm pretty much guaranteed a first place position. As long as you're getting into the thousands, you're probably fine. I like to just do spins because it's easy, but also if I can do a double backflip, it works. And the next event we're going to be doing is the big air contest. So for this one, it's similar to the like the terrain park one, but you basically just wouldn't want to flip a lot, and I messed up that first one, but basically if you just do flips and make sure that you're landing well, you should be fine. So we're gonna just flip, and it's hard to land perfectly when you're doing a flip, but especially since I'm backwards too, but that should 4,000 points should get me in first place, and we can move on to the next event. So the next event we're going to do, and this is the last one in the amateurs, is the gladed run. This is the hardest one by far, especially in the pro version of this, because you have to memorize where the trees are, and it just gets really confusing and difficult. And I can hit a tree in amateur and still pass, but in pro, if you hit a single tree, you're out of the contest basically. You can't win. And so I actually memorized where the trees were at one point in order to get the first place, but I don't know where all the trees are going to be now, so that's why I said I'm not going to actually pass. And also, you're not supposed to do flips. I learned that the first time I did this, but I just wanted to do a flip because I can. In 35 seconds will put you in first place, but in the pro version of this, you have to get like 25 seconds. You have to be 10 seconds faster. And again, I did hit a tree, so I bumped my time up by about 3 seconds. But in the long run, you really do want to memorize where that is. And it took me like 20 attempts before I could pass to the pro version of that. So we're going to do the pro downhill now. This is where I'm going to start saying, this is what I would do. So I would memorize where these turns are. You can kind of tell if it's going in one direction, it's going to turn into the other, but this jump is where it gets me, because you don't know which one is going to turn. Sometimes it turns left, sometimes it turns right, and it's just these last few turns are a little bit confusing, like right here. But I should still be able to get first or second with this time, maybe third. I hope I'm in the top 3 with this. Yeah, I'm in top 3. So as long as you stay in bounds, you should be fine. And the next one that we're going to be doing is the Pro Salomon. I don't know how to say that word, but basically, like I said, it's the same thing. It's a little bit easier to tell where the turns are, but at the same time, it's a lot harder because you have to make sure that you're staying within the intended area. I'm not going to pass because I missed 2 of them, but basically, like I said, it's the same thing. You just have to be very careful when you're going down these, because if you miss one, these are very tight turns, so if you miss them, then you will lose. And I got like dead last. I'm going to go to sleep and cut to when I wake up. Of course, hitting a tree is essential to this because it is. You have to hit that tree in order to pass the next events, which is the terrain park in Perfect. So in the Pro Terrain Park, you really need to land these perfectly. Now, I'm not saying that you can't, mess up every now and then and still be okay, but see, I messed up there, and that might cost me the whole thing. Yeah, I'm landing these as well as I can for not having done these in a while. If you hit a tree, it's probably not going to be the end of the world because this isn't a timed event, but especially in these big ones, you want to land pretty well. I might not have even gotten near first. I don't know exactly what the score you need is. Yeah, I got third, which means the score is probably going to be pretty close. But yeah, you want to get around, 3,300 in order to pass in first place. But like I said, that comes with a lot of practice of landing your jumps perfectly, which is really hard, especially if you haven't done it in a while. So Pro Big Air Contest. This is one where I actually know exactly what you're supposed to do. I want to show you actually how to pass this because I know I can do it. You have to do 3 flips in a row. And if you do 3 flips in a row, you can actually win. Now, the way I know this is because I tested it, and it works. So I'm at 7,000. I need to be in first. I need to be in first. I practiced this in order to show you. All you have to do is do 3 flips in a row and you get it. Because 5,000 just won't cut it. You need to do 3 flips in a row. And it is so hard to do, but it's pretty fun actually if you learn how to do it. Now this is the last event, and it is the hardest event. I spent like 30 minutes just trying to do this to get first place one time. But I will show you it anyway, and just show you how hard it is again. So there is a pattern to where the trees are that you really need to follow, and there are certain trees that you're gonna get in the way that you just need to be very careful of. And I'm actually doing really well, but if I hit one tree, I'm dead. Just remember that. Yeah, I'm dead. I cannot pass anymore. I'm literally going to be dead last. And the reason why is because you need a 25-second time in order to pass this in first place. And I'm third, and I only hit one tree at the end. 26. You need 25 seconds to pass, and sometimes there's a change in the position. So sometimes the first person will get 25 seconds, sometimes he will get 26. I know this because I've done that race like a million times. Sometimes he gets 25, sometimes he gets 26. You need to get a 25 to pass that. So these are all the events that I just did. And again, you do need to do ski school before you get them. And one more thing I need to mention is you have to pass all the amateur contests before you can get into the pro. But the pro, the amateur is really easy to pass. You don't need to know how to do any of it. You don't need to have watched this video in order to pass the amateur test. Really, the amateur tests they're stupid. I mean, the pros are actually like hard and like somewhat fun, but the amateurs are like, if you want to make coins, do that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. It would mean so much to me. I don't like saying this because I know it's annoying, but if you are not subscribed, I do this for you guys who are watching this video and are subscribed. So please consider subscribing, or don't consider it, just do it. Do it. Do it. Like Emperor Palpatine once said, do it. Just do it. Okay. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. As always, have a great day.